Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the SmackDown Live Recap. I'm your host, John Rocha, joined, as always, by the editor-in-chief of Pro Wrestling Sheet. There, I said it all right. Ryan Satin, how are you?
Look at that.
Yeah.
He grows once I said. It's funny, I should have said something sooner. I'm glad that one person commented on YouTube, but
yeah.
I am doing fabulous. I'm a little tired. I was working all day on getting that big cast interview up.
Yeah.
And then, transcribing everything, cutting clips, all that kind of stuff. So I was a little tired, but I'm good to go. I'm here. I'm ready to party.
Yeah, hell yeah. And that was a great interview too. An hour-long interview listed on the ride home last night. Really good stuff. What Cass had to say about his journey, about everything he went through. And look, you may have your reservations about what happened with Cass. Give it a listen. You might come out of it with a new perspective or a different way to look at it. Doesn't mean you have to take one side or another, but it might give you a little more information, a little more rounded point of view about that man. So,
well, I mean,
kudos to him for coming in and talking so honestly.
Absolutely. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do by any means. And he was brutally honest about everything. I mean, that was, to me, I knew everything that had gone on. I'd seen the video he did with DDP Yoga and stuff, but for me, it was so eye-opening, like you said, where it was like, even the positive things that you would think, oh, well, he had a good, Daniel Bryan, you got to feud Daniel Bryan, or he got to, be in the Final Four, greatest Royal Rumble, or things like that. And when you find out that, they were good things for his career, but behind the scenes he was in this mental prison. Yeah, it really is eye-opening. I mean, a lot of that stuff is intense. I mean, he's never talked about going off script in that segment with the little person, or a lot of these things. So please check it out if you can. I think I want to help him spread the word on the importance of mental health as much as possible. So this is one where I appreciate any shares on it, any views, any listens. It all helps just the word gets spread.
Do it. Well, we have a SmackDown Live episode to cover here. Starts off with Shane McMahon talking on there. Once again, doing one of these selfies, saying this stuff, saying, I'm not going to be there, and this is going to disappoint people because of Kevin Owens. I won't be there, blah, blah, blah. So let's just stop there, and then we'll move to the next thing. Did you like this as an intro to SmackDown Live? And it's ironic because is Bischoff now in charge of this thing? Is this moving the Shane meter back a little bit?
From what I was told, Shane was never involved creatively.
Right. Okay.
But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, is this a Bischoff
directive to move Shane off a little bit? I see what you're saying. That I don't know. Okay. But what I do know is that, yes, from what I was told, Bischoff did have some involvement with yesterday's episode of SmackDown. I'm still working on some of the details, but if I had to put two and two together from things I'm hearing from various sources and stuff, it does sound like he played a bigger part in the initial write of it. And then remember yesterday I mentioned
you told me that
Vince
rewrote it.
Told them to rewrite it.
Right.
I don't know how much he played a part in the second one. But I do believe they probably kept some of the things, so I'm sure there's some influence there. The Shane thing, it's hard for me to take any promo seriously when it's shot upwards like that. It gets me so mad. I'm like, Shane, you have worked in television your entire life. Your entire life, Shane McMahon.
You could buy a camera, Shane.
You can, yes. But you know what? iPhones take good video.
They do.
It's fine, but turn it sideways for God's sake.
Right, good point.
As a guy who grew up with a father in television as well, my dad's not Vince McMahon, but I know not to turn. I know to have the camera turned sideways for television.
Very good point.
My dad knows that, and he's an older dude who uses phones and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a thing if you're gonna shoot it for television or anything like that. So it just drives the producer in me crazy.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I did laugh at it. The life coach stuff was funny.
That was
my life coach says this and all that, and he just looked like. I don't grow up, obviously I'm already an adult, but in this era, I imagine there are times where a parent sends an angry FaceTime or something like that. And it did look like an angry FaceTime from your dad or something like that. So this made me laugh. Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good for what it was, and it moved Shane off. You knew it was going to be there that night. So that's one less thing to kind of be worried about. And I like that, he did it in a way, and I think it's a heel way to do it that way too. Just make it all kind of dirty, look like he just kind of did it happenstance, and then blame everything else for why he's not there, and make it seem as if, and he's almost kind of a little bit putting his thumb on that scale of the life coach and all these people who do this, making fun a little bit as a heel would. So I thought that was funny as well. And Kevin Owens is sitting there celebrating in the ring about it, so he was happy about it overall.
Did I tell you? I don't know if we talked about it here in the office, just the two of us, not on camera, obviously, but I I saw, I guess Stone Cold talked about why there wasn't a thing between he and Kevin Owens. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting how he said that basically, it's already on the nose enough as it is that like if they had done that together, it would have been almost like too much on the nose almost, right? That's kind of what he was saying, right? So I mean, I get that to a certain degree, but it still would have been cool.
The Stone Cold Hogan thing was a good conversation.
I literally just finished listening to it as I came in. Did you listen to the whole interview?
Yeah.
It is look at Hulk Hogan issues aside, anyone. I'm not the biggest Hulk Hogan fan.
Yeah, I know you're not.
Those things, I didn't like it. But at the same time, like, I know you were harping on John Cena very hard on Twitter for the past few days during that whole conversation.
I tell my truth. That's all I do. But, like it or not.
But Hogan issues aside, I feel, in my opinion, you can't say he's not one of the best of all time.
Damn right.
I wouldn't say
we don't have what we're doing without Hogan.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And so, listening to two of the all-time greatest.
Yeah.
Like, I know everyone's, this person should be in the Mount Rushmore and this person should be there. You can't say that Stone Cold and Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan aren't two of the greatest of all time.
That's what I'm saying.
This is the first time we've agreed on that, at least on a greatest of all time scale. And so just to hear them talking and shooting the shit for 2 hours and just... It's crazy because as much as it's Stone Cold interviewing Hulk Hogan, it's a lot of just like two of the greatest of all time just sitting there shooting the breeze, and it's fantastic.
And Stone Cold does a great job of letting the guard down and helping other people let their guard down. His interview with Kurt Angle is one of my favorite ones he's ever done, and so to see him bring that out in Hogan, Hogan's very guarded about things he says. He tries to make himself the hero of almost every narrative, but I found that in this situation he was being forthright about why they never got this program on and what was the issues. And it shows you behind the scenes, when you get to the certain level of cachet, you can decide if you're going to job to somebody or lose or not. And that's the truth for most wrestlers once they achieve that level of fame.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because that was why I enjoyed that conversation so much, because that part of the conversation so much was because it was both of them in a long-winded way of saying, I didn't want to do the job.
Yeah.
Like, as if we're going to cut right through it all, both of that's the bottom line, is that both of them were at that level.
The bottom line.
And that's what it was. Because there's even that one part where he says, Hogan says, I thought we were after Rock, it was you, that's what I was preparing for. And also before, he was like, I thought it was going to be you, not Rock or whatever. So that whole thing is interesting. And I know this isn't SmackDown related, but I feel like you guys are still find this stuff interesting. My favorite part of the conversation was Hogan almost talking about being a manager for WWE in the 80s. Not manager ringside, I'm talking behind the scenes. That's the kind of vibe I got. Where he was tasked with almost being an agent back in the day for his own stuff, where he had to go tell the finish, go tell people what was going to happen. And that's probably why he's hated so much by a lot of those guys behind the scenes. Other reasons too, I know. But the way from his perspective, when you hear it, it was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. He really did feel like this was his company too, because he built it with, or not built it with, but was a big part of building the company with Vince McMahon. And the most interesting part though to me was him talking about jobbing back in the day. And talking about how back then was way crazier of just I'm not going to job for you. People just say no. Now if someone says no, it's this huge story. Everyone's like, fuck that guy, he doesn't go, But back then it was no. And him saying that Rowdy Roddy Piper, the reason Rowdy Roddy Piper never became champion is because he wouldn't lose to Hulk Hogan. Was really fascinating to me, because he's one of those guys you go, how come? How come?
Piper's been very clear about that since the beginning. He never agreed to job to Hogan. He would never lose to Hogan. And it's something he crowed about in later years, you never beat me, blah, blah. But how much does that matter if you could have been champion in exchange?
That's why I found that part so interesting, because Hogan's look, I get it. But we could have swapped the belt multiple times. He could have been a multi-time champion, but we didn't know if we put the belt on him if he was going to job to someone. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. I don't know. It just
that's the wrestling I grew up in.
Totally. It's just such a different world.
And knowing all of that and hearing about all of that, it is fascinating. And I think it's because Vince, I know we got to get SmackDown, but Vince was poaching guys who were already established in their territories. So they came in with an ego, a hubris, a feeling like they were like, it's like recruiting an all-star team and you're deciding who's going to sit on the bench. And it's tough because everyone thinks they should have the ball in their hands and run with it. Piper, I'm sure, felt that he should have been champion and leading for at least a year or two, leading the company as a heel. And it would have been interesting to see that. Savage felt that way as well. A number of guys rolling in there felt that way. And, Andre was always the anomaly in that way because they didn't need it.
Yeah.
But most everyone else. So it's, got Putski, you got Don Morocco, you got all these guys, Snuka, all these guys wanted to come in and carry the strap. So it's an interesting thing. Nowadays, I think they get them young and people understand the system over decades now with the WWE that they decide what you do no matter what you say. So it's rare when you get the Stone Cold or the Rock situation or Triple H saying what they will or won't, who they will or won't job to. So
absolutely. Yeah. And to bring it all back around,
yeah.
Hogan was talking about that stuff in the interview. And at the end, when Stone Cold asked him, like, what do you advice you'd give to people now? And he was talking about like what people need to do now in the WWE system because they all train at the same place by the same people, the same things drilled into their head that like it's hard to stand out. And while talking about it, he talked about Kevin Owens and said Kevin Owens is one of those guys. If we plucked him out and put him back in the Wild Wild West days, he would have been just as over as everybody else. And that he told people in WWE, I'm assuming Vince, Kevin Owens is going to be one of the guys. And that someone in WWE, he didn't say who, was like, well, what about his look? What about this? What about that? And it was like, don't care. That guy's going to get over, And so to bring it all back around, I think that we're slowly starting to get more of the Kevin Owens that can be more successful in WWE, that he's slowly starting to kind of become more of himself in WWE. And this promo, I loved this promo.
Yeah, it was a good promo.
I thought it was a really good promo from Kevin Owens. A lot of the stuff he said in it, there were a bunch of good lines. I felt like, him kind of being the rallying cry of like, good that Shane McMahon's not going to be on the show because this is the show where wrestlers should be on the show, and kind of saying like, that he can't obviously make Shane McMahon go away. Right. But this is going to be the time where he makes Shane McMahon regret ever coming back in the ring.
Yeah, it's a meta promo.
I love it.
Because the fans are saying that give us better wrestling, give us more wrestling, and Kevin Owens is kind of symbolizing the fans' push, the underground, ground roots fans' push to see more wrestling and more authentic stuff happening on screen. And certainly then he gets interrupted by McIntyre, who dresses him down. And it's funny, right? It's that chiseled big dude versus the everyday normal-looking guy.
Totally.
And Kevin Owens is strong as hell, obviously, and very athletic for his size. He does have the stomach. What can you say about it? It's there. But, it was great to see their clash of styles. And this was a damn good match and a believable ending. Really enjoyed it. Great spots, great near falls, all the stuff outside the ring, inside the ring. All of it really worked for me. And it's like, great. It's great to see yet another level of a match that is almost pay-per-view level here on a regular show.
Yeah, absolutely. My only, I guess, qualm with it was like, I don't know, there was something about them that didn't quite connect me where I cared to see them wrestling each other. Okay. But yes, they powered through it. It was still a good match.
I will say this, that's true. You got a good, I meant to bring this up. Kevin Owens looked a little bit half a beat behind him. Everything, right?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Right,
and I never usually say that in matches. But there was something. I just felt there was something a little off, in my opinion.
I agree. He was telegraphing a lot of the moves at the beginning of the match, and then they eventually found the rhythm, and they were good. But the beginning of the match, it felt like Kevin was taking that extra beat to see what was happening, blah, 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 with McIntyre. So I don't know if he was hurt, or I don't know if he was just didn't know McIntyre's style as well just yet. But you could see him just kind of waiting a little bit, but then eventually they figured things out, and the crowd got behind him.
Yeah, like I would say after the first commercial break. After the first commercial break, they had my attention much more. They were kind of like in sync. They were doing their thing, and I feel like McIntyre took the stunner better than anyone has so far. He took it so perfectly. Like I loved it. I was like, that's how you take a stunner. In my head, I was like, take note, everyone. That's how you take a damn stunner.
Exactly. It's a great finisher. You got to learn how to take it to sell it perfectly. All right, let's move on here, and we'll see this now. It's an interesting thing for McIntyre to take the loss. He's been taking more losses lately, but I don't know if necessarily it affects his overall presentation to the audience as a possible title contender down the road. It's just where he's at right now. You know,
I can see him going on a little bit of a losing streak, only to come back strong with winning the title.
Yeah,
or something too.
That's certainly possible. Becky did that, so anything's possible here. Let's move on to Bayley and Ember Moon versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. A little bit of conversations between Bayley and Ember backstage about what happened between Ember and Bayley, saying, "Look, what happened, but you know, don't get it twisted. I'm the champion, and I will get you back when the time is right." This match goes off. Good match, kind of a quick match though, not as long as the last week's. I think women's match was a little longer, but good spots between both of them. Ember Moon jumping out of the ring, Bayley taking hits. That double kick Bayley took in the back while she was strapped to the ring apron or whatever. That's a tough kick.
Yeah.
So, and Ember Moon looked like she was going full force in that double shot with her butt. That was I was worried about those girls because they took full brunt. Because Ember is a strong woman. And then in the end, Alexa Bliss gets the victory here. She's looking great. And so this is an interesting push. What is happening here? Are they lining her up? And then Bayley does the Bayley to belly or belly to belly suplex, getting her back. The fans immediately started booing.
Yep.
So what is happening here?
Even my girlfriend, when she watched this, she was like, "You gotta turn Bayley heel already. It's ridiculous." And I was like, "Yeah, I get it. Yeah." You know, my problem is I had a hard time connecting with this match at all.
Okay.
Because of all of the like outside pieces of it. Not the wrestling. The wrestling was fine. The wrestling was good. Like it wasn't a bad match by any means. Or it's more so like drawing my attention in or whatever. And like I think at this point I'm really not into the Bayley Ember Moon.
Oh wow!
Feud.
Really?
It's not that I don't want to see them wrestle.
Okay.
It's just I don't like the way it's being
built. You don't present it.
Yeah, I don't like the way it's being built. It was very like, I just pick Ember, cool. Then it was like Ember randomly did that heelish thing last week or whatever, and most people I spoke with were like, that was confusing. What was that? And then this week they're a team again, even though they had that like, you know, bickery moment backstage or whatever. And then Bayley turns on Ember and everyone starts booing, which I don't think was the effect they wanted there.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not very effective what's going on there. And I also, you know, that as much as I like Nikki and Alexa, their pairing is still kind of like,
I don't disagree with you, man.
It's not like it's not, I don't want to say it's not working. It's just not connecting to me.
Here's my honest assessment of it. I don't think Nikki's at Alexa's level in terms of playing the moments and the beats and not overdoing it or being unable to find the subtlety and the nuance of it. And granted, Alexa's been in the top roster for a while now, so she understands the game. But Nikki, I think the gulf in what's supposed to happen at the top of the roster versus where she was at NXT is very obvious at times. None more so than when she was outside the ring with Bayley and she's just saying over and over again, leave her alone, leave her alone, leave her alone, and then leave her alone, and then waiting for the hit from Ember. And you're like, there's nothing new here. You got to do something different and unusual.
Especially because Nikki had to drastically change her character with the Alexa Bliss stuff. You know, she had figured out the nuance of her character in NXT, and she had that character very defined.
Yes, she did.
It's not easy to find a new character on an international platform in front of millions of people. So I'm not saying that like it's a knock on her. It's hard to do that.
Right.
And they totally changed her character. So it's like, you know, sometimes they change your character and they don't tell you everything. It's like similar to acting.
You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, like similar to acting, there'll be people where like, you know, they come in with, they've got a character that had, you know, this one paragraph line of explaining who the character is, and they walk onto set, the good ones at least, and they've got this giant binder that explains the whole person's life.
Yeah.
Because they have to figure out who that person was in order to play them on television, you know? And I guarantee you there's not a lot of wrestlers who have a binder figuring out who their character is. I bet you if they did, it would help a lot.
Yeah.
I guarantee it would help a lot of them out.
Well, you know, Frank Grillo, when I interviewed him for The Deep Cut, which you can listen on Collider Conversations, he said that. That's what changed him. Going on the set of Warrior. And
I thought that it was you I was talking about this with recently.
And watching Nick Nolte come on to the set with a binder this thick about his character, he said, I'm doing this wrong.
Yep.
If I want to go to the next level, this is the approach I need to have. And it changed him as an actor, and he's had continued success since. So you could argue that that was a moment that he used, instead of putting himself down, he used it as inspiration to get better. And so you're right. I think wrestlers would be smart to do that and create a binder and all those possibilities and get advice and talk to people. But,
especially in a scenario where you have to drastically change your character like
absolutely.
that. Because you're not that same Nikki Cross that you were in NXT, and you have to, maybe you are do the same music. I don't know, but those are hard things to figure out. So, like I said, the match was fun.
Yep.
It was a good match. It was entertaining. I liked the finish. It was fine. Everything was good. It's just I'm not connecting on both of those things right now. And I like Bayley. I like Ember Moon. I like Nikki Cross. I like Alexa Bliss. It's just some of these things aren't all connecting together for me.
It was a weird reaction by Bayley, too, because she was telling everybody to calm down. I'm just getting her back.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just getting her back. And then she the referee, what? I was just getting her back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you wonder where this goes next. We had the Aleister Black promo. Anything to say about that? You can take this. I'm wrestle already. I'm just like in the place of like, just wrestle already. I'm done.
You're not the only one who feels that way.
Yeah.
I know that some of my friends, same thing. They're like,
really?
What is it? Why isn't he just coming saying stuff? Yeah, I didn't dislike it.
Okay.
But it was kind of, they needed to have some of his, he needed to do something again. They were like pushing him and then he went away all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen much from him since Extreme Rules.
Right.
It wasn't like a hit or a miss to me. And the Sami Zayn thing later.
That could be something.
That's what I was going to say. Is like, I didn't necessarily care about this, but it did set up for Sami later to come out and be like, who cares about that? I don't care about that guy. Right. I'll show him what's up at SummerSlam. To me, that's going to be a dope match.
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing them wrestle because Sami was way on the main roster by the time Aleister Black came.
Right.
And maybe they wrestled on the indies when he was like El Generico or something like that. But God, they're on such different levels now that, Sami Zayn and Aleister Black could be an awesome program. And because Sami's so good on the mic and he's killing it lately with his promos, I'm interested to see the kind of the
back and forth?
Yeah, the chemistry between them or whatever.
Yeah.
Also because they were kind of angling
Aleister
Black as a heel.
Yeah.
But I don't think he is.
What happened with the Cesaro thing? Wasn't he supposed to fight Cesaro? Did he fight Cesaro?
That was Extreme Rules.
Oh, that's right. Extreme Rules. Okay,
And then they had that rematch the next night or whatever. Or maybe it was
so that's done. And now we need something new.
Yes.
I need him to step out of the Black stuff. Like, stop in the room. Enough already.
You don't like those room promos?
I really don't.
Okay.
Like, once you fought, the room is irrelevant.
Well, people have their own, like, unique set kind of thing. Like, Stardust had the Cosmic Wonderland or whatever.
Yeah.
But similar to the Viking Raiders.
You're not making good examples, in my opinion. I'm just saying, this isn't selling me on it.
But similar to the Viking Raiders, I do think you need to understand, like, where is he?
Right.
Because in my opinion, it does look kind of funny when you go like, well, who set all this up? Was Aleister Black just backstage all day setting up this room to look to look all emo or whatever?
Yeah,
I don't know. I like when things look different. I like when it's not just the basic set interview type thing. So I don't hate it.
Yeah. Maybe there's a black light that follows him everywhere he goes. That would be a good little thing. All right. So we'll see. Sami Zayn and Aleister Black is going to, I think it'll be a fun match that could tear the house down.
Yeah.
And kind of quietly steal the show. We'll see how that plays out. Well, this is the portion of the program where I go, Ryan Satin, you were right on your reporting. Charlotte Flair and Trish Stratus going at it officially on SummerSlam. Jerry the King of Lawler came out. Jerry, I love you, baby. You're showing your age, but I still love seeing you on TV, my man. I'm glad you can still do it. He brings out Trish. They have a fun back and forth. Trish looks beautiful. My God. They have a fun back and
Especially
forth.
Especially having multiple kids, you just go like, man, that is so impressive to like keep that kind of fitness going. That's
a lifestyle.
Hell yeah.
And she pushes that lifestyle. She has that lifestyle. She lives it. And
she was a fitness model before WWE.
Right, exactly. And so she talks, she's appreciative of the fans wanting her to do one more match and talks about the legends and all this kind of stuff. And then the Charlotte Flair's music hits. She comes out, cuts a good promo, I think.
Killer promo.
Yeah, great promo, kind of undercutting Trish a little bit about shaking her asses. We're doing real stuff now. And then Trish pushes back and says, yeah, you wouldn't be doing anything if it wasn't for me. And shout out to Trish for listing Lita, Jacqueline, and Ivory along with her. I thought that was awesome of her. You could hear the fans screaming for Chyna as well. So we'll see if that ever becomes part of a promo down the road. She is a Hall of Famer, technically. So this I like. And it was a great setup. And I'm looking forward to this match. What about you?
Loved it.
Yeah.
This segment was fantastic. I mean, honestly, this was like perfectly done.
Yep.
I that's really how I feel. I think that, Trish came out and just played her part perfectly. She came out super babyface.
Yes.
One more match type stuff. the mom stuff, you know, it's so different than Miz saying like, I love my dad. It's so much different her being like, no, I'm a mom, you know, kids, all that stuff. It wasn't like off-putting. Instead, you're like, yeah, dude, you're a tough mom.
Right.
Like, hell yeah.
You're one of the ones that got out.
Yeah.
And survived. Yeah. And thrived. Yeah. And you're a great mom and you got a business. More power to you.
Yeah, it's like the babyface version of Maria, where she's just like female empowerment, you know? And I loved it. I thought she did a great job on that part. And the fans were just so pumped for Trish. Everyone, and then, you know, when Charlotte's music hit, it was perfectly timed. Mm-hmm. And Charlotte, man, when the past year, she has just raised her game like no other. Mm-hmm. I think that she is without question in her prime right now. Yeah. I think that she is on another level that, you know, only a few are there. And she is there for sure. I mean, she has this just like swag that, and then we call it drip these days. She's got this serious drip.
What the hell does drip mean?
Wait, isn't that what drip means, right?
Oh my God.
I think I'm using.
Is there a new term?
Oh, you've never heard people using the term drip?
That's a nasty term.
No.
I've never heard that used in a positive way ever.
Yeah, here's what Urban Dictionary says. When your bling is iced out, but that shit melting from all your hot bars, you got the drip. Just another word for immense swag.
What did you just say? I don't understand anything you just said. I don't understand that damn word you just said. Drip has never been a positive thing in our
world.
World.
Yeah, normally you don't say I got the drip, because that doesn't sound right. Yeah,
That's not so bad. You got a drip in your faucet, that means you got to call the plumber. Drips are never a good thing.
Well, now it is.
Okay. Don't be melting my swag, dog. All right, anyway, she has the drip.
She doesn't have the drip. I don't think you say the person has the drip. I don't think that's the proper terminology.
Me and my the qualifier and everything, it gets me in trouble.
I think it's the drip.
She has the drip or she has drip?
I think she has drip.
All right.
This is going to be a good one.
Let's ask a 10-year-old.
I can't wait to see the comments on this one. Anyways, but she just has, just like, man, the way she carried herself when she came out was just so cocky and so perfect. And just like the fact that she's telling Trish Stratus that she's above her level, you go like, whoa.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus was a first ballot Hall of Famer, inspired so many women to get into the business. So with that, I thought they nailed this in every way. The part that you talked about where she was like, oh, you guys just shook your assets or whatever. And now, we got real women who are trailblazing like me. And then she name dropped all those people. You go like, yeah, Trish, Maybe go like Arsenio Hall in my living room, You young people won't get that one, but.
Yeah, he had drip.
There you go. That's how you use it correctly. He had drip, he had some serious drip,
Serious drip.
You're jealous of his drip,
Yeah. I can't get there on that one. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I liked her Charlotte's comment of like, why don't you go change diapers? Go be a mommy and change diapers. Like,
and then Trish with the killer line.
Yes.
And it was such an easy one right there of like, but it was great when the way she delivered of just like, to be the woman, you have to beat the woman. And you were just like, oh, that's Ric Flair's thing, but Trish Stratus is right. Like, and so, that whole thing, that the fan in me just like pumped.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this card is shaping up to be a good card.
Yeah, damn right. This is one that I know I won't be fast forwarding through any of the matches so far.
Good.
All right, let's move on. Finn Balor and Dolph Ziggler went at each other here. This Ziggler, he had his promo backstage talking about how, people were mad at him for what he did about Shawn and making fun of Shawn, doing all the stuff that he did. And he said, yeah, they can go to Twitter and cry and bitch and all they want. It doesn't matter to me. I'm doing my thing. He comes out, takes on Balor, who I thought was taking a 2-month break, but clearly
no, I keep telling you. I literally told you this every time we record that it's supposed to happen after SummerSlam. Even my initial report said that.
All right, fine. We'll see what happens. I don't believe anything with Balor. You never know.
Well, he got sick or whatever. That's why he wasn't at Smackville. Well, that's why he wasn't at Smackville.
Oh, right.
Which I didn't watch.
What is Smackville?
It seemed very unnecessary to watch. It was like a house show they put on the network.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Is it like House Rules or whatever? Back in the old days?
No, it was like
House Party, whatever it was.
They put a couple house shows. It was like what's that one they did recently?
Evolve?
No. It was a step above that. Well, no, not. It was really just a glorified house show on the network.
Okay, cool. Anyway, they have a good fight here. And just when things are heating up, the Fiend shows up. But before the Fiend showed up, we had the Funhouse. So this was an interesting Funhouse segment. I thought the Rabbit, like doing all the things, he's Rambling Rabbit saying all this stuff about Finn Balor, positive. And then he says, oh, he messed with the Fiend, he messed out, and it takes off when he senses the Fiend is coming or Bray Wyatt is coming. Bray steps in, does the laugh thing, which I think is funny, curls the hands, and then boom, black. So a good Funhouse promo where it wasn't him talking. Yeah. I thought that was really well done.
That's interesting. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, he doesn't say a word.
Yeah.
Except let me in at the end.
I guess I didn't love... I liked the Rambling Rabbit stuff.
Yes.
The Rambling Rabbit made me laugh in the beginning of it. I kind of just felt like it just had kind of like a bleh ending though. Like it just kind of ended. It didn't really have like
let me in.
Yeah, but it didn't really like nothing exciting. There wasn't like a.
You didn't like the laugh and folding of the arms thing.
No,
that is crazy.
No, it didn't. It didn't. This one didn't throw me. If I had to rank it on all the fun houses, it would not be high up there. It'd be like that one where we saw the children and stuff, where it was kind of like.
Do you feel like we're ending the Funhouse thing in that way?
I hope not, because I think it's a really unique part of his character. Okay. I just would like to see. I guess maybe just the no talking thing was really what.
Okay.
I was like, I would like to see some talking, I guess.
All right.
But the moment itself was also repeat, obviously, of what we've seen.
Yeah.
But I do like the way it looks when they do that. It looks cool when he's attacking people like that.
Yeah.
It's obviously not as messy, but it reminds me of almost like the bloodbaths back in the day.
Oh,
the Brood used to do, where it's just kind of like off-putting, where it's like all of a sudden just like, you know.
Yeah, I love the Brood.
So yeah, the Brood were awesome. So I wouldn't say it's like a miss either. I just think it was a very much like a similar to what was the theme of the night for me. It was very like middle of the road. It was kind of like. You can't be mad. They weren't bad.
Yeah.
By no means are they bad. The Finn Balor, Dolph Ziggler stuff was entertaining.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Good match.
And he ends up getting the super kick to get the victory. Mm-hmm. This is funny. You've got Owens doing the stunner and Ziggler doing the super kick. Yeah. Who's going to do the rock bottom next?
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Well, Becky was doing the rock bottom for a while.
Right. There we go. All right.
Now she's kind of doing like a different version of it.
Right.
Where she holds the hand.
Yeah. Let's do the pedigree next. Well, F it. Let's do them all.
Well, Seth Rollins was doing that for a while.
There we go. See?
Did you see all this?
The code breaker. Somebody do the code breaker.
Ricochet does the code breaker.
Is there a new one? Damn it!
Okay, you were tossing one down. Like, wait, no, someone does do those moves.
I need a new finisher.
Did you see all this Taz, Dominic Dijakovic stuff?
No, what happened?
Where
I know Taz waited on the Renee stuff. So.
No, where Dominic Dijakovic is a wrestler in NXT, tweeted Taz like a few times asking if he could use the Taz mission as his finisher. And then Taz finally tweeted him back saying like, please like DM me in private.
Yeah.
You know, this is not the right way of doing that. I'd have things I'd want to tell you, you know? And I guess they've since spoken or whatever, and Taz tweeted saying he has since given him permission or whatever, and Dijakovic posted a video of him using the move already, though. So I don't know about that. I don't know if he already started using it before he got permission or whatever. Right. But then I saw lots of people weighing in on it because Taz was. I don't know. People perceive Taz as like, well, why wouldn't you just say cool, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but he had a bunch of like. Seemed like he had a bunch of things he wanted to say first to him. So I understand. He popularized it. He did do it, but also it's one of those things. Mission. It's one of those things where you see like lots of people are using people's moves these days without asking for permission. It's not. I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that whole thing because I wasn't a wrestler who popularized a really famous move. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, and most of these moves are variations of moves that have come before. They're just used as finishers.
The Taz mission, though, it was if I recall correctly, it is a judo move.
Okay,
a judo hold.
Gotcha.
But I believe he like switched it up a little for for wrestling
Shamrock
and
used
got
a
it
version
over
of that.
in wrestling. No,
he did.
No.
Didn't Shamrock use a thing where he was like submitting people through choking at times? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I thought Shamrock did.
Naked choke.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
That's different.
Okay,
so.
fair enough.
But I think
you've been in a wrestling ring, you know.
I think that he but he definitely
did
popularized.
No doubt about it. No question about it. Yeah, agreed. Well, two popular people who've got their own moves here, their own finishers. I think Shinsuke Nakamura and Ali went at it. This is something that you look forward to, but this match was kind of over quick.
Yes, it was.
Which was a little surprising with these two. I don't know why you'd schedule them to fight and then have a quick match here. Ali does get the victory in a bit of a sloppy pin, so we'll see if this leads to a longer match. Do you think it'll be at SummerSlam? Do you think they'll set it up that way?
After the show, Ali tweeted Shinsuke Nakamura and said like, "Hey, you busy for something? Like, you busy? Like, you got something to do at Summer? Like a time, something like that."
So maybe they want to give him.
Nakamura replied with a link to buy tickets to his meet and greet.
Shinsuke, brilliant. Shinsuke, that's how you do it, son. That's it. Yeah, come visit, come say hi. At my meet and greet.
Yeah, I forget exactly what Ali said to him, but yeah, it was something along those lines. I loved it. Yeah, the match was good. Really good match.
Good for what it was.
It does make me wonder if, knowing that Finn Balor was going to be taking 2 months off, if the reason they randomly pushed him, put the title on Nakamura, was because it was going to be one of those short-lived title runs where it was really done so they could put the title on Ali without it being two faces going against each other.
Yeah, I guess.
Ali could use a title run right now.
I guess.
Much more than Nakamura.
Shinsuke just got it back.
Yeah, but I don't think Nakamura needs it.
Okay.
I mean, yes, I'd like to see Nakamura on TV more.
Right. Okay.
But I think that Ali needs it more.
Okay.
I think so. He's kind of floundering right now, and they're not sure what to do with him.
Well, yeah, and speaking of floundering, we go into the mind of Randy Orton, and Randy reveals what happened to Ali. Randy, it's mind-blowing nowadays that people can make it part of their promo that they injured somebody and affected their run to a title or a current run that they were on, and changed history, because this has been a well-known narrative that it was going to be Ali and not Kofi who kind of got this situation. We don't know if Ali would have held the title as long as Kofi's held it, but it certainly was being lined up for Ali to make that run. And now Ali, as you said, is kind of floundering, trying to figure out where he belongs, and Kofi's like at the top of the pile, and Randy brings it up in this Mind of the RKO. He does make fun of Kofi again for the Jamaican accent stuff, all of that, but Randy's saying like, I am going to take care of this. I'm going to change history again. And Kofi should actually be thankful that Randy did what he did, because he wouldn't be where he is now without him. So very interesting.
Yeah, I think they're using Randy perfectly right now.
Hell yes.
This is the best they've used Randy in a long time.
Agreed.
I feel like I am so all in on this feud. I love it, this program.
Nice AEW reference.
That wasn't an AEW reference, but yeah, I really do think that, Randy being positioned in this way of just like the vet, as much as definitely the vet, and the guy who just was like, no, I'm the star maker. You got to get through me if you think you're anything in this, and I love that stuff.
Me too.
I've noticed a bunch of people. I had a bunch of people text me, friends of mine that watch wrestling or whatever, that were like, that was fantastic.
It was.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. And I think that, a good vignette or a good video promo, whatever, can really do wonders. Similar to like when they had that one of Brock Lesnar just sitting there in a dark room, black room talking to the camera, and that interspersed with the different clips and stuff. That it worked well.
Yep.
So they did do a good job of making Randy seem that the threat he is.
Yeah. Alistair, maybe something to think about. Just saying. This is also what I enjoyed about this, is that it brought us back to old school Randy, right?
Yep.
He is a veteran, but Randy looks great for his age and for what he's been through in the wars and all the years in the rings that he's taken and the injuries. He looks great. And he's at this stage where fans now kind of respect him. It's not a matter of cheering or booing. It's more like, oh, we're going to get to watch Randy, who's still somewhat in his prime, do his thing against a younger guy, and with revenge on both their minds. That's exciting. And then we move into the Kofi thing, Kofi and New Day against the OC here.
No, it was supposed to be the New Day versus the OC.
Right. It's Kofi versus AJ Styles. But
did you see all that during the day where they announced?
Oh, no.
They announced that, I think on. No, it was Tuesday morning. They announced, Tuesday morning. Look, while we were doing the recap, they announced that it was going to be the OC versus New Day. And then a few hours later, the tweet got deleted, and they announced that it was going to be Kofi versus AJ Styles, which I think was the right decision.
Right, agreed. Title versus title. And
well, not title versus title, but champion versus champion.
Sorry. I'm sorry. But what I want to get to, and I'm fumbling with my words here, is this the first time we've seen 3 title holders and 3 title holders kind of not in a match necessarily, but with their people involved in a match. I cannot remember a time when we've seen that. So I was excited by that. 6 belts were involved, not on the line, but were involved in this situation.
Yeah, it shows you how many titles there are in WWE.
Yes, true. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
It's 6 titles on the line, and there's still more champions that weren't involved.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not the biggest historian when it comes to that kind of stuff, but it was cool to see those 2 teams, that many belts, all kind of like, paraded around, all kind of in the same vicinity or whatever. So I like that. And I feel like Kofi and AJ had a killer match.
That was a great match. So much fun to watch. And that ending was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, I wish this text message I just got.
Oh. Whew. All right.
I got some work to do today.
All right. Anything you can break on here? Or
no.
Okay. All right.
Serious work I got to do.
Kofi. AJ coming off with the forearm and then getting the Trouble in Paradise.
That was such a cool finish.
Right?
Oh, such a cool finish.
So
also,
good.
if you've noticed, it seems like they've gotten rid of the commercial thing.
Yes.
The 2 out of 3 falls and the elimination matches and the no. It seems like there's still a little bit of no wrestling during the commercial,
right?
But they've done it in a much less annoying way, where it's not jarring. It doesn't make talent. It was messing with talent getting over for sure. And just it was just annoying, and it's not that way anymore. It feels like.
Yeah, and last night we had them say during the break, this is how this person took control of the match, right? So those are the old school ways of doing things. That still works. So
still works fine.
That's not the change you need to make to get the ratings back.
No one was like, ugh, I'm not watching because of the 2 minutes of wrestling I can't see in the commercial break.
Most people are fast forwarding anyway through the commercial, so it doesn't matter.
Totally. But those are your cliffhangers in between commercials, so they watch the commercials.
Yep, exactly.
But the match was great. I love seeing New Day together against OC. I feel like that promo from them before too, they came out, was dope.
Talking about it's not the house that AJ built anymore. All of that was great. Yeah, you're right.
I'm wondering though when they're gonna, if that's something they're gonna fully lean into, because AJ's busy with Ricochet right now.
Yeah.
And the club isn't gonna be feuding, I wouldn't think, with the other tag team champions unless there's a plan to merge the belts, which I don't think there is. So I don't know how hard they're gonna be able to lean into that, because all those people already have things going on for SummerSlam, it would seem, right?
Yeah.
Although I don't know what New Day is going to do.
Do you think down the road we have tag team versus tag team for all 4 of the belts?
No, because when Fox starts, I think they want very distinct brands.
All right.
I don't think they want that kind of.
Okay.
Well, at least that's what I would imagine.
That's fair.
I don't know that.
That's fair.
That's how I would view it. I do think the right person won. I think that Kofi was the right person to go over here.
Kofi can't take any losses. He has to keep winning. Everyone else is taking losses, but people are just waiting for him to take a loss so they can jump back into he's not that good, doesn't deserve it, blah, blah, blah. And he can't take any losses.
Agreed.
Right?
AJ's fine taking losses, especially when it's done like that.
Yes.
That wasn't just like any regular old Trouble in Paradise. I want them to add that to WWE 2K. That is cool reversal where you can do it off a springboard.
Yeah.
Although I think 2K, it's too late for that now. It comes out soon. So
yeah, Lesnar on the cover. Is that what we saw?
No, they just said that they just showed a picture of Lesnar to make the announcement.
Okay.
Becky's got to be on the cover,
right?
If it's not Becky on the cover, it would be crazy.
Right. First woman ever to grace it, right? As solo, is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
There's
Lynch.
Obviously there you might maybe do 3 people on the cover because no, Ronda was on the cover, so she wouldn't be the first.
Was she on the cover by herself?
Ronda was on the cover. I'm sorry. Anyone who heard that first part is probably screaming at me, but Ronda was on the cover once.
Okay. All right.
So second one, I could honestly see them doing a couple girls on the cover though, or lots of people on the cover. I don't know.
Okay.
It would be good if it was Becky, but because it's going to be Legends mode, I think there's going to be a Legends vibe to this game where it's dream matches that haven't happened. That's the rumor mill out there. There's gonna be like a lot of Legends matches, and Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold talked about how they filmed that undisclosed project and the thing. So that's my guess.
Okay.
So maybe we see lots of people on the cover, maybe.
Yeah.
Instead of just one.
If they want us to preview it, maybe they send us a couple of copies.
Well, I can preview copies.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
You don't even game, Rocha.
Come on. I have a lot of time to play a game.
No, you don't. There's no time to play it.
I really don't.
There's no way your girlfriend will allow you to take up that TV in the living room.
Not in the living room.
With WWE 2K.
I got a 50-incher in the second room. I can do it. Anyway, let's move on to our last situation here. That's Roman Reigns.
Oh, God. I thought we were over. We've got a lot to talk about now.
This last thing. That's all I can tell you. This was horrifically bad. I know what they were going for, and I expected Rikishi to come out and said I did it for The Rock, but it was not. This was just, I don't know. I just didn't like it. Bischoff's not always right about things. I don't know if this is Vince. I don't know if this is Bischoff, but this I just didn't like this.
Yeah, I think that with this segment, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
I'm watching you do this.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the diplomatic way of saying this. Yeah. Because I do appreciate when they try and give us whodunits.
Sure.
I like whodunits.
Yeah.
It reminds me of who blew up Vince, or
who hit Stone Cold with the car.
Who hit Stone Cold with the car, and that kind of stuff. Or even just not wrestling of like who shot Mr. Burns, or like stuff like that. Like those kinds of things. I like those things. But remember the whole who shot Mr. Burns thing? I do. And then it was fucking Maggie. I'm pretty sure, right? It was Maggie, right?
It was Maggie. Yeah. Total accident. Yeah.
So I appreciate when they try things.
Yeah.
I appreciate when it's not, when it's clearly the intent of this was, one, to get people talking.
Yes.
Two, to have a hook for next week, which I'm cool with. It was more so the execution of it, I think, that really was like, come on.
Yeah, and who was doing the commentary? Who was doing the interview? Kayla was bad at this, man. Kayla just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Kayla, there was something. It just added to. It was another thing. Another element didn't work at all through this whole thing because he wasn't even hurt. He just kind of slid right under, and Kayla's still going, oh my God, and Reigns is like already slid out and sitting back and chilled, and then slowly walking back, and the EMTs with no badges on, which is the dead giveaway, are like, let us check you out. We gotta check you out. I'm good. All of it was just very poorly executed. I don't know how, because these are taped. I don't know how they got away with doing this and being like, okay, this is the best we got.
I doubt they did that one live. They had 50 angles.
Yeah. I'd have shot that again until we got it right.
The thing is, one that made me laugh when Kayla was yelling was like they had the shadow of the whatever that was starting to fall. So it almost reminded me of Austin Powers when the guy is standing in front of the steamroller thing that's going really slow. Because like he's walking, and just from when you see the angle, you're like, oh, something bad's happening here to him. And then it's like, no, Roman, look out! And then you see there's like it starts to fall in the shadow, but it's going like so slow.
It really is.
And then it like. And when it falls out, there's so many different angles, but it also falls so conveniently perfect around him.
Yeah.
Like it was laughable how conveniently placed around him it was, like things just falling perfectly in line around him.
Like everything, nothing touched it.
No.
It was almost like he had a force field over his body. Nothing touched him. The way that things fell, they hit on the box, which kept it above him, and he just slid right on out. It was no big deal.
It was almost like the person who did it was the Flash, and he was just pranking Roman Reigns because like he pushed it really fast. That's why no one noticed. And then he like put all the boxes in the appropriate place so it would just form a square around Roman Reigns. That's it. That's my prediction. The Flash is the person who is trying to mess with Roman Reigns.
Damn it.
That stuff just that made me laugh. I saw some of the people talking about it online. I guess there's at one point in the shot, you see what looks like Buddy Murphy walking away.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Buddy Murphy?
He's wearing a Buddy Murphy shirt.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a hard time believing the person that this is all set up is that it's Buddy Murphy who's mad that he's been overlooked since he got called up.
Right.
Maybe? Hard time believing that, though.
Yeah.
Hard time believing the reason they kept Buddy Murphy off TV this whole time was because they foresaw him having a program with Roman Reigns. If they did, and that is who it is, huge deal for him.
Yeah,
I mean, man, that would be a huge thing for him. Yeah. Huge opportunity. There is, I guess, the storyline makes sense that he's helping Shane. That it was, he did the thing where he said, hey, Kevin Owens doesn't speak for me. And then now it's like, no, I thought I was helping Shane by, he was never able to take out Roman Reigns.
Right.
I did. I dropped the thing on him, and that didn't
really hit him. And Reigns didn't help when he slid out and goes, "It didn't touch me. I'm good." It's like, oh, then what was the whole point of the damn video? If it didn't even touch you, what was the freaking point? And don't give me, oh, it was to scare him or to keep him unsettled or off balance. Bullcrap. Look, you compare that to what happened with Lesnar and Strowman. That was awesome. When they dragged the whole scaffolding on top of him, that was incredible. So you juxtapose this with this, and you're just like, well, this is lame. Whereas that was like believable and awesome. This is just so lame.
Yeah, very cheesy. And I know I said I like cheesy, and I did laugh at
Good
it.
Cheesy is
but
fun.
I don't think laughing at this is what the intended purpose was. I mean, the part where he goes like, and it like goes down on him, and then there's 50 angles. And to cap it off even more, did you see the picture that WWE posted on Instagram?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, of him under it?
Of him under it?
Yeah.
Why was that? Where was that camera guy?
Still not touching him.
Still not touching him.
Not touching him at all.
But also,
he's napping under the scaffolding.
But also, we never saw that camera guy.
Yeah, we never saw him running.
Was the camera guy the person who pushed it over on him? Is he the Flash? Because that didn't make any sense. Like you go like, where did I'm gonna try and hopefully I can get this to go in that camera. I'm gonna walk up to the camera and I'm gonna see if on the jib you guys can see this picture so I don't have to edit it in later. Hold on.
Here he goes, folks. This is the first on the SmackDown Live recap. It's out of focus. Yeah, maybe pull back. Nope, still out of focus. It's focused on us, so that's how cameras work, Ryan.
That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Damn it. Just know it's Roman under the thing. That's not how cameras work, Ryan. Damn it. I realized I wasn't looking at an iPhone where I can't click the part that I want it to focus on. But it's Roman under the pillar or whatever, like this. And you're like, where'd that come from? It's like a perfectly shot photo.
Yeah.
So kudos to trying.
Sure.
Could be interesting to see where it goes.
Right.
But not so good in the execution.
I feel bad for Roman now because of the way people are reacting to this, which is full of laughter. The next one's gonna have to be even more brutal. So Roman's gonna have to take a bit of a brutal hit on this one.
He's gonna have to jump off. He's gonna have to jump off a cage onto the back of a huge truck.
Yeah, pretty much the semi's got to run him over is what's gonna happen here, I think. So we'll see.
I wonder if Rikishi did that.
I just said that.
No. When he jumped off the cage.
Oh, right.
Into the back of the truck.
In the back of the truck. Right.
We've already gotten our.
Yeah.
We've already got our run over moments. Now we got to elevate it.
That's true. He fell backwards, right, onto the
Is that what it was? That he fell backwards, not jumped off? He got knocked off backwards and he fell into the truck?
Onto the feet of the truck. Yeah.
Crazy spot.
Rikishi, he took some bumps back in his day.
I always felt bad for Rikishi during that time period. Because I wanted him to get over.
Yeah?
I liked Rikishi.
He was over.
I mean, as a heel.
Oh, right.
I wanted it for him.
Well, it didn't help that The Rock goes, I did it for The Rock.
No.
It totally undercut Rikishi. And that's
dead in the water.
Isn't that his cousin or his nephew?
Family,
Their family. That whole island. They all relate, And so, it kind of undercut Rikishi. I'm sure Rikishi was like, cool man, but you kind of killed my shit.
Yeah.
So.
I always just felt like, I always at the time thought that, I remember before he turned heel, I thought, he'd be good as like a main eventer.
Yeah.
He should be a main eventer. He's over, and then that all happened and it didn't happen for him. And I always felt bad.
Yeah, that's fair. Here's what I want to say to you to wrap up the show, because that's all we talked. That's all that happened on SmackDown Live last night. Went to see Hobbs and Shaw last night. I can talk about it. The embargo's up. I don't want to give too much of a spoiler review, but say to this.
Non-spoiler review.
You're going to have a blast.
Really?
A can I cuss on here? An effing blast. This is such a fun movie. The Rock and Jason Statham, great chemistry. Vanessa Kirby's fantastic. And when they go to Samoa, you do see Reigns, but you see this whole collection of Samoans, and they're all in there doing their thing. And it's a great section of the movie, a fun section of the movie, and bring back that like feeling of Samoa. So, and if you're eagle-eye viewer, you'll see a picture of Rocky Johnson in there, which I think was brilliant.
Cool.
Yeah, which I thought was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Question.
Sure. And Idris Elba. Great.
You like the Fast movies, right? Fast and Furious movies.
I enjoy them. I don't like, nor do I say like they're the greatest movies ever. I enjoy them, but the last few movies have been more and more ridiculous since 5. Fast 5 was good, although the safe in Brazil and all that was kind of ridiculous. But overall, they've been good. This one is a great offshoot of what the original course of the Fast and Furious was, because this is just about their relationship. It's not about cars.
Not about any of
that stuff. I mean, the cars are involved, obviously, but it's not about the cars.
It's not a car movie,
right? It's not. It's a you know, there's something they have to go get. You know, like Idris Elba says in the trailer, he's the Black Superman. There's something involved with him. Also, there are some. They haven't teased any of it in the trailer. There are some surprise people that show up in the movie that you're like, oh shit.
The Rock did mention that on Twitter.
He did?
He didn't say who,
okay.
but he mentioned that there's some surprise cameos.
and you love the surprises, and they get more than just cameos.
Two questions.
That's what I'll say. Yeah.
2 more questions.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the Fast movies, does it matter?
Nope. Went last night with a friend of mine who hadn't seen any of the Fast Furious movies. They make a couple of references to the larger Fast and Furious universe, but you don't need it. You really don't need it. You get their relationship, you get what's going on, and you go forward with it. And that's what I'll say. Second question.
And then last question, because I don't want the wrestling fans out there to go and think they're going to see something that they're not.
Yeah.
Does Roman Reigns have any lines in the movie?
No.
I thought so. I knew that was going to happen. I thought I saw someone on Twitter mention something like that, and I was like, of course they've gone into insane overdrive mode. How many, if you had to guess, estimate?
Yeah.
How long is he on screen for?
He's on screen for that whole final fight.
Okay.
So you see him
when he does. I saw the trailer. He does a spear in the trailer.
Yeah. All his moves are in.
Okay, cool.
All his signature moves, like all of The Rock's moves, were in his first few films, the Rock Bottom and all that. All of that is in. All of Reigns' current move set is in the movie.
Okay.
Which is, you're going to do that, and following The Rock's footsteps.
Well, it's funny. I mean, if you look back and it's following The Rock's footsteps, when I first got an inclination that he might not be speaking in the movie, I thought to myself, you know what? The Rock's first movie was The Scorpion King, if I recall.
Yep.
With no lines.
Yep.
He had a thing that it was like heavily promoted, but he didn't have any lines.
It was all CGI'd.
He just stood there, you know. And he was obviously after that. What's the one that he actually was?
The Scorpion King.
What's the one that I said?
The Mummy Returns.
The Mummy Returns is when we first saw him in Scorpion King.
As
actually spoke.
King. Right, exactly. So yeah, it happened. Schwarzenegger, his lines were dubbed in the first film he ever did. So it all takes time. I
was in a movie and my lines got dubbed over.
Really? What movie is that?
Dino Croc versus Super Gator. Roger Corman film.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's funny when he mentioned Roger Corman when we recorded Top 10. I was going to bring that up, but I just knew there wasn't enough time. But yeah, there's a scene where I get stomped on by the Super Dino Croc.
Oh.
I get stepped on.
Spoiler.
And I said, we're like walking through the jungle.
Right.
And like we were like got guns and walking through the jungle or whatever. And then I say something. Yeah. And like I look up and like it steps on us or whatever. And I was like, I got like my friends and family together, like, to watch
go see it.
No, because it wasn't in theaters. It was on Sci-Fi.
Oh,
but
right.
when it premiered on Sci-Fi, we got everyone together, like pumped. And then my character goes to talk, and it's someone with like a really deep voice like this instead. And everyone just looked at me, and I was just like, oh, that was awkward. Like, oh, sorry, everyone. Did not have a heads up that was going to happen.
Well, at least you're not Gina Carano.
Did it happen to her too?
In Haywire, that whole movie, it's not her voice. That's
the whole movie?
The whole movie. That's Laura San Giacomo doing her voice.
No way.
Look it up, people. Look it up. It's not the first time that's happened either. If you remember an old 80s Tarzan movie, Greystoke Legend Tarzan, Andy McDowell's voice is dubbed by Glenn Close, the whole movie.
What?
Because they're British. You couldn't do a British accent. So they used Glenn Close's voice. Yeah.
That's
what
crazy.
happens.
I did not know that about Gina Carano.
Yeah.
I feel...
She didn't admit it for a long time. And
Really?
then eventually, recently, there's been like... Because I think with...
That's hard to admit, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. With Mandalorian and everything, it seems like she's like taking a new approach to it. So, but yes, she... Yeah.
I was able to laugh about it because it was one scene in a shitty
and you're not the
sci-fi
star of the movie.
And I'm not the star of the movie.
Right.
That's crazy. I didn't know that happened. I feel that's terrible. I feel terrible for her.
Well, I mean, she's still doing it. And look, she's on The Mandalorian. And once again, just like I said, Schwarzenegger, his lines were dubbed in the first film he was in by someone else. Look at the success he came. So, you know, sometimes...
And me, it happened in my first movie, and look where it took me
That's
here.
right. That's right. You know, I lost to Bestman. I became 3-time champion. So there you go. All right. Well, that's our SmackDown Live recap here on Pro Wrestling Sheet. I am John Rocha. That's Ryan Satin. Ryan, tell them where they can read, listen, and hear. Oh, yeah, read, listen, and what? Watch everything we do. Sorry.
ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's the website where you can find everything in the world, all the top stories of the world of professional wrestling throughout the week. YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find the video, the Raw and SmackDown recaps that I do with John Rocha here. That's where you can find Wrestling Sheet Radio, where we discuss all the top stories of the week. And that's also where you can find the interview that I do with Big Cass that I referenced at the top of the show. Former WWE star Big Cass opened up about a ton of stuff in regards to his battle with depression while in WWE. I can't recommend it enough. Please check it out. It's in the feed. And while you guys here, subscribe, like, leave comments. I appreciate it very, very much. Or if you just want to listen to the audio of all these things, including the Big Cass interview, you can find that on all the major podcast platforms. Just search Wrestling Sheet Radio.
There you go. Follow him at Ryan Satin. Follow me at The Rocha Says. And one last plug, if you guys want to listen to the top 10, this week's episode, we welcomed Ryan Satin as our guest to talk about the top 10 movies featuring a professional wrestler. Really fun, great countdown of all these movies and some great back and forth. Some of your favorites and some maybe you've not didn't remember had professional wrestlers in them. All of them get talked about in this show, and we count them down at the end. Trust me, you can find the top 10 anywhere you download podcasts. It was a fun, great countdown.
And you're going to hear some of the movies that I have not seen that you're going to be offended by, probably.
Yes.
There's going to be one that'll offend you, probably.
It will. It will. Clue.
But shout out to all of you who respect that I put Suburban Commando on my list.
Yes, true. All right. It's ironic, considering you're not a Hogan fan. All right, thanks everybody for watching.
I was a child then, and Suburban Commando was awesome. He was a huge guy in muscles who was an alien.
He was.
He skateboards when he flips on the skateboard.
And Christopher Lloyd's in it. That's a good point. All right, there you go. Remember Thursday night, Wrestling Sheet Radio, and then tomorrow, next week, tune in for another episode of the Raw recap and the SmackDown Live recap here on Pro Wrestling Sheet. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
ProWrestlingSheet.com